Kyle Larson. Oh my gosh. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is literally one of my favorite NASCAR drivers. As in, like, this dude, he's so talented. I mean, he's young. I mean, he knows how to drive a race car. This dude, he knows what he's doing. He knows. Basically, Kyle Larson is a very talented NASCAR driver. He chokes a lot of wins away. You know what I'm saying? But he's still a good driver here and there. You know what I'm saying? He has the trademark Larson line. When you go up on the high side, you know what I'm saying? You know whose line that is. And that's Kyle Larson's. Kyle Larson drives the 42. I feel like Chip Ganassi Racing hired Kyle Larson in that 42 car after Juan Pablo Montoya did. He hired him after Juan Pablo Montoya. And Kyle Larson is the best driver in that 42 car ever. I mean, he was better than Jamie McMurray, better than Juan Pablo Montoya, better than Casey Mears. Basically, I feel like Kyle Larson was one of Chip Ganassi Racing's best drivers ever. That's hands down. Kyle Larson is Chip Ganassi's best driver in NASCAR ever. I mean, Sterling Marlin, he was good, you know what I'm saying, around 2001 and 2, maybe a little bit of 3, but Kyle Larson was that dude. Jamie McMurray, don't get me wrong, Jamie McMurray had a great season back in 2010 when he won the 500, the Brickyard 400, and Charlotte later that year. He had a great year. Wasn't no championship caliber year. See, look, Kyle Larson is actually a championship caliber driver, I feel like, and one of Chip Ganassi's only championship caliber drivers ever. Don't get me wrong, I'm not discounting other drivers. Like, all right, let me scratch that. Because Sterling Marlin definitely was a championship caliber driver back in 01 and 2002 before things happened. But when was the last time you could really say a Chip Ganassi Racing driver actually had really, what is it called, been a championship driver besides Sterling Marlin? Couldn't have been Jamie McMurray, because he made the chase. He made the chase here and there. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, he never really was a top 5 or a top 4 championship driver. Kyle Larson was that driver. Yes, Kyle Larson was that driver for 1 year, though. Back in 2017, definitely had a very incredible year that year. Unfortunately, got eliminated from the playoffs around Kansas, you know, blown engine. Out of his control, but, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, Kyle Larson, I love Kyle Larson. He's always been one of my favorite drivers. In my opinion, always been one of those drivers that I feel like that can really get stuff done and can really show up when it matters. Except when he's choking races, you know what I'm saying? He's still talented. And remember back in 2013, he had that horrific Xfinity wreck. Was that 2013 or 14? I think it was 2013 because I remember James Buescher won that race. But yeah, that is great by Kyle Larson. All of that is great. But he is now in the news now for saying the N-word. NASCAR driver says the N-word and it's Kyle Larson. Wow. Like, I saw the clip and everything like that. Was that really him? Was that legit him? Was that like, come on now. Is that really Kyle Larson saying that? Come on now. And it turns out that it is, and it was. Okay, so, McDonald's, Advent Heath, Credit One Bank, Clover, and I think there's another sponsor. Not DC Solar, of course. And I think there's another sponsor. There is another sponsor. Was there only 4 sponsors that he had, like, that just canceled his termination with him? Oh, Chevrolet, yeah. Chevrolet have all... iRacing too. Yes, iRacing too. iRacing, all of them have just terminated their ties with Kyle Larson. That's crazy. That's so wild. Not the decision is crazy. I'm talking about, like, wow. See, look, Kyle Larson, like I said before, very talented driver. He knows how to drive a race car. Dude is so talented. And just to, like, everything just to poof, just like that. His whole career gone. Like, I'm telling you, this dude, wow. I mean, this was stupid. Like, I don't know why in the world he even thought about saying that. Like, that was the most retarded thing I've ever seen a NASCAR driver do off the track. Well, actually, yeah, this has to be one of the most retarded things I've ever seen a driver do off track. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more drivers that has done more stupid things. Like Rob Moroso back in like the 90s, I believe he was drunk driving and killed someone and killed himself. That's pretty retarded. But, you know, Kyle Larson said the N-word and is losing sponsorships. I'm talking about this dude is losing straight up everything. He's losing everything. He's like, and also, it just came up this morning, like around 20 minutes ago, that Chip Ganassi has just fired Kyle Larson. He's just fired him. And, yeah, it's warranted. You know what I'm saying? If you cut ties with Chevrolet, Chip Ganassi's a Chevrolet manufacturer, a Chevy team. And Kyle Larson can't drive for Chevy. So that's kind of obvious. And his sponsorships are leaving left and right. So, yeah. My view on this whole situation, it was stupid. It shouldn't have happened. Like, come on now. Like, oh my goodness. It was an iRacing event that was sponsored by Blue Emo, and it was kind of brought together by Landon Castle. And for Kyle Larson to just ruin that entire performance, it has to be the most irresponsible, most stupid things I've ever seen in my life. This dude just ruined his whole career by one word. By one word. He issued an apology too, which was obvious. That was obviously going to happen. But, I mean, suing me, I feel like he deserves a second chance. I mean, look, I'm not defending his word usage or anything like that. We all kind of know the N-word. Everybody knows that and the kind of meaning that it has. And for Kyle Larson to be such a popular driver, you know, with sponsorships, he should have known good well to not use that word regardless. You know what I'm saying? He kind of, especially in a public setting, if he did that behind closed doors, we wouldn't know about it. We wouldn't know about it. No. But the thing is that it was public. It was public. It was in a virtual race, but it was actual racism being said. Like, I honestly just can't really fathom to why would you do something like this? Why would you do this to your career? You have a family. You have a wife. You have kids, obviously. You're not racing. No one is racing right now. This is the coronavirus situation, my G. You're not racing. You're not racing anyway. Like, you are literally at home all day. You're getting paid to be at home. Is he? I mean, isn't all the NASCAR drivers getting paid leave? Actually, all athletes, aren't they all getting paid leave? I mean, you're chilling. You're set. And you have a great race car. And you're going to ruin everything. You're going to ruin everything off of this nonsense that you just thought. This joke. See, look, let me be real. Kyle Larson is not racist. I don't believe he's racist. I don't believe he's, you know, discriminates against any race whatsoever. I don't believe. He's like a minority as well, isn't he? He's Japanese American. I don't believe he's racist. I believe it was just a joke. Because, you know, Xbox, I'd be on Xbox or any other, like, social media platform. White people or actually almost every race use the N-word 24/7. You know, they just play too much. That's basically what it is. And that's basically what Kyle Larson was doing. But Kyle Larson, the difference between people on Xbox or stuff like that, the difference between Kyle Larson and them is that Kyle Larson has sponsors. Oh, my mail is coming. Oh, well. Kyle Larson actually has sponsors. Kyle Larson's actually a professional driver. Kyle Larson is an athlete, is a role model to everyone. And for him to just use that blatantly, not a good look on NASCAR. Because look, there is no other coverage of any other sport. No other coverage. And NASCAR is literally the only sport right now getting coverage because of their eNASCAR things. Oh, thought I was about to sneeze. And because of their eNASCAR things and the virtual things and how much of a big platform iRacing has become in the last month or so. So there's not really other things being covered right now, except for this. See, look, I feel like this really does set NASCAR fans far back because, look, I'm a NASCAR fan, and NASCAR fans are really like kind of stereotyped as racist, white, not that many teeth in their mouth, crazy, alcoholic, country, redneck, you know what I'm saying? And to have a NASCAR driver actually say the N word, obvious racial slur, you know what I'm saying, really does kind of set NASCAR fans a while back. And I'm pretty sure the media is going to really ride this story like they always do and try to make, I wouldn't say they're trying to make, well, never mind, because the media loves to sell negativity. Um, it's just going to set NASCAR fans a little back because of Kyle Larson's stupid decision. My overview of all this, I feel like Kyle Larson deserves a second chance. I mean, he should definitely have the criticism, should definitely have the sponsorship loss, should definitely go through whatever training he has to go through before he could get back into a race car, because that's what NASCAR said that he has to do. He has to go through sensitivity training before he could enter any NASCAR. So yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get an underfunded car now, unless Haas is going to get him. But yeah, I think that I think if Kyle Larson can really show that he's very sorry and can really show that he's more mature than what he broadcasted and can change, then I feel like that he should be able to return back. Because it was a joke. It was meant as a joke. I'm not downplaying that it's not as serious, because that's a very serious word to say, especially when you have such a big platform and you're such a big figure. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he'll probably come back around like next year. Nah, not next year. Maybe in like a few months or so. I mean, we don't even know when NASCAR is coming back, let alone when Kyle Larson is going to be coming back. So yeah, I feel like that we're going to be able to see what he's going to show. He's going to be able to really show that he changed. If he's able to do that, then I don't mind welcoming him back. I'm not going to cancel him. Honestly, there's a lot of people really canceling him. You know what I'm saying? Cancel culture finally comes to NASCAR and shows up. And it's in the form of Kyle Larson saying the N-word. And that's, guess it is what it is. Okay, so again, Kyle Larson's a very talented driver. I feel like he'll find work in NASCAR. He does dirt stuff. I think one of his sponsors on dirt is actually staying with him. You know what I mean? So I guess that's what's up. So, I think Ross Chastain is going to take over his ride soon. That's what's going to happen. I feel like Ross Chastain is going to take over his ride. And Ross Chastain is a very talented driver, but he's in the 10 car right now, so in Xfinity, so. And I remember there was rumors saying that Kyle Larson is going to go to Hendrick Motorsports. That's a done deal. That's not happening now. And I wish we could have actually seen where he would have been at if he didn't make this decision. But, it is what it is. Okay, so that, I'm talking too long. Yeah. Kyle, please don't make this dumb decision ever again.